His name was Tyler Morrison, and he was untouchable. Not in the way that made people avoid him, in the way that made everyone want to be near him. He was the kind of person who commanded attention without trying, who walked through the hallways of Lincoln High like he owned them, who made you forget whatever you were thinking about because suddenly all you could think about was him. Tyler was the captain of the football team, starting quarterback. 6'2", broad shoulders, the kind of athletic build that came from actual hard work and not just good genetics. He had dark brown hair he wore slightly longer than the other jocks, hazel eyes that shifted between green and gold depending on the light, and a smile that could make you forget your own name. Everyone wanted Tyler Morrison. The girls wanted to date him. The guys wanted to be him. The teachers loved him because he was smart and respectful. The administration loved him because he was the face of the school, student body president, on a roll, headed to a Division I college on a full-ride scholarship. He was perfect, completely, impossibly perfect. And I was invisible. My name is Alex Chen. I was 17, a junior at Lincoln High, and nobody's idea of remarkable. I was 5'9", skinny in a way that suggested I'd never seen the inside of a gym. With black hair I kept too long because I hated going to the barber, and dark eyes that I mostly hid behind glasses. I was on the debate team and the school newspaper. I spent my lunch periods in the library. I'd never been to a party that wasn't someone's obligatory birthday thing where they had to invite the whole class. Tyler Morrison and I existed in completely different universes that occasionally overlapped in the same physical space called high school. Until the day they stopped being separate universes. It was a Tuesday in October, junior year. I was in the library working on an article for the school paper about the upcoming homecoming game, because the editor had assigned it to me knowing I was the only person who wouldn't make it into a puff piece about how great the football team was. I was researching Tyler's stats when I looked up and found him standing at my table. "Hey," he said, "you're Alex, right, from the school paper." My brain short-circuited. Tyler Morrison knew my name. Tyler Morrison was speaking to me. Tyler Morrison was looking directly at me with those hazel eyes and waiting for an answer. "Yeah, I managed. I'm Alex, hi." "Cool, I heard you're writing about the homecoming game." He sat down across from me without asking, which should have been presumptuous, but somehow wasn't. I was hoping we could talk for the article. "Oh yeah, of course, I can. I was going to reach out to you for a quote." "I'd rather do it in person, if that's okay. I hate email interviews. They always make me sound like a robot." We talked for 45 minutes. He answered my questions about the upcoming game, about the season, about his plans for college. But we also talked about other things, about how weird it was being a senior and knowing everything was about to change, about the pressure of being the person everyone expected things from, about feeling like you were performing a role instead of living a life. "That's very philosophical for a quarterback," I said, and immediately regretted it because it sounded condescending. But Tyler just laughed. "I contain multitudes, Walt Whitman." "You read Whitman?" "My mom's an English teacher. I grew up on poetry." He leaned back in his chair. "Most people don't know that about me. They think I'm just the jock who throws footballs and looks good in the yearbook." "Well, you do look good in the yearbook." It came out before I could stop it. Tyler's eyes met mine and something passed between us, a spark, a recognition, a moment of oh. "Thanks," he said quietly, "so do you." I had not, in fact, looked good in the yearbook. I'd looked exactly like what I was, an awkward junior who couldn't figure out how to smile naturally for photos. But the way Tyler said it made me believe he meant it. "I should go," he said, standing up. "Practice, but Alex, thanks for the interview, and for yeah, thanks." He left, and I sat there for 5 minutes trying to process what had just happened. He started messaging me that night. "Tyler, hey, it's Tyler. Got your number from the student directory. Hope that's not weird." "Alex, it's not weird. What's up?" "Tyler, I was thinking about what we talked about earlier, about performing roles. Do you ever feel like that? like you're just playing a part. Alex, all the time, I think everyone does. Tyler, yeah, but like, what if the part you're playing is so different from who you actually are that you forget which one is real? I stared at that message for a long time before responding. Alex, then maybe you need to figure out who you are when no one's watching, when you don't have to perform. Tyler, and how do you do that? Alex, I don't know. I'm still figuring it out myself. We texted until 2 in the morning. About school, about pressure, about parents and expectations and the future. It was the kind of conversation you have when you're 17 and everything feels both incredibly important and completely meaningless at the same time. We kept texting every night, long conversations that started about homework and ended in philosophical discussions about identity and authenticity and what it meant to be yourself. At school, he'd nod at me in the hallways, nothing dramatic, just acknowledgement that I existed, but it felt significant because Tyler Morrison was acknowledging my existence. 3 weeks after that first library conversation, he asked if I wanted to hang out. Tyler, you doing anything Saturday? Alex, no, why? Tyler, want to come over? My parents are out of town. We could watch a movie or something. I should have been suspicious. I should have wondered why Tyler Morrison wanted to hang out with me specifically. But I was 17 and he was paying attention to me and I wasn't going to question it. I went to his house on Saturday afternoon. It was exactly what you'd expect. Nice neighborhood, big house, the kind of place that suggested his family had money but didn't need to show off about it. Tyler answered the door wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt from some football camp, looking more relaxed than I'd ever seen him at school. Hey, he said, come in. We ended up in his room, which was surprisingly normal, bed, desk, shelves full of books and football trophies. We put on a movie neither of us really watched and talked instead. At some point, the conversation got personal. Can I ask you something? Tyler said. Sure. He stopped, started again. Have you ever dated anyone? No, why? Just curious. You seem like the kind of person who'd be good at relationships. You listen, you pay attention, you're, I don't know, easy to talk to. Thanks, I think, I paused. What about you? You're dating Jessica, right? Jessica Chang was head cheerleader, senior class treasurer, and exactly the kind of girl someone like Tyler was supposed to date. We broke up, Tyler said, 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be, it wasn't real. I was with her because it was expected, because she's the girl the football captain is supposed to date, but I didn't, he stopped. Didn't what? Didn't feel anything, not the way I'm supposed to, not the way I feel about, he stopped again. We were sitting on his bed, and he was looking at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. Alex, can I tell you something? And you have to promise not to freak out. Okay. I'm gay. The room went very quiet. I could hear the movie still playing on his laptop, could hear cars passing outside, could hear my own heart beating way too fast. Okay, I said finally. That's it, just okay. What did you expect me to say? I don't know, most people would react, say something, ask questions. I'm gay too, I said, so I get it. I get why you can't tell people. I get why you're with Jessica or were with Jessica. I get all of it. He looked at me for a long moment. How long have you known about yourself? Since I was 13, maybe earlier. I just didn't have words for it until then. I've known since I was 15. I've never told anyone. You're the first person I've said it out loud to. Why me? Because he moved closer. Because I think about you all the time. Because you're the only person at school I can actually talk to. Because when I'm with you, I don't have to perform. I can just be. Tyler, can I kiss you? I should have said no. I should have remembered that he was the football captain and I was nobody, and this could only end badly. But I was 17, and he was looking at me like I was the only person in the world, and I wanted this more than I'd wanted anything. Yes, I said. He kissed me, and it was gentle and uncertain and perfect. When we broke apart, we were both smiling. I've wanted to do that since the library, he said. Me too. We spent the rest of the afternoon on his bed, kissing and talking and figuring out what this meant, what we were, how this could possibly work when he was Tyler Morrison and I was Alex Chen, and the world would never let us be together openly. We'll figure it out, Tyler said. We have to keep it secret for now, just until I graduate and get out of this town. But Alex, I want this, I want you. I want you too. We were together, in secret, for 3 months. It was thrilling and terrible in equal measure. At school, we barely acknowledged each other. Tyler went back to being the golden boy football captain, and I went back to being the invisible kid on the newspaper. But after school, on weekends, whenever we could find time, we were together. We'd meet at his house when his parents were working late. We'd park on back roads outside of town and talk for hours. Once, we drove 2 hours to the city where nobody knew us, and we walked around holding hands like a normal couple, and it was the best day of my life. But it was also exhausting, watching him with his teammates, slapping backs and making jokes that sometimes came at the expense of people like me. Watching him at school events with his arm around Jessica because they'd gotten back together. For appearances, he'd said, and I'd hated it but understood it. I'm sorry, he'd say afterward when we were alone. I hate this, I hate hiding, but I can't. If my dad finds out, if the team finds out, everything I've worked for falls apart. I know, I get it, sometimes I want to be able to hold your hand, to tell people you're mine. You can, just not yet, not here, but someday I promise. I wanted to believe him, most days I did. But there were moments, watching him laugh with Jessica, watching him perform straightness so convincingly, I wondered if I'd imagined everything when I doubted. The doubt got worse when I overheard a conversation in the locker room. I wasn't supposed to be there. I was covering a story for the paper about the basketball team, and I'd taken a wrong turn and ended up near the football locker room. The door was open, and I heard voices. Chen kid from the newspaper. What about him? I saw Tyler talking to him the other day. After practice, they seemed, I don't know, close. Tyler talks to everybody, he's friendly. This was different. I'm just saying, we should keep an eye on it. Make sure Morrison isn't getting too friendly with the wrong kind of people. We don't need any rumors. I left before I heard more. That night, I told Tyler what I'd heard. They're watching you, watching us, they're suspicious. They're paranoid, it doesn't mean anything. Tyler, they said wrong kind of people. They meant gay people, they meant me. I'll handle it, I'll be more careful, we'll be more careful. Or we could just stop, we could end this before it gets worse. Is that what you want? No, but I don't want you to lose everything because of me. Alex, look at me, he pulled me closer. You're not making me do anything. This is my choice, you're my choice, and I'm not giving you up because some guys on the team are paranoid. We kept being careful, we kept being secret, and it worked for a while. Until the day everything fell apart. Someone took a photo. We'd been careful, so careful, but careful isn't the same as invisible. It was a Friday night in January. Tyler's parents were out of town again. I'd gone over to his house, and we'd spent the evening like we always did, talking, watching movies, being together in the only space where we could be ourselves. At some point we'd ended up on the couch, Tyler's arm around me, my head on his shoulder. It was innocent, comfortable, normal. Except someone had seen us through the living room window. Except someone had taken a photo. Except someone had posted it to the school's anonymous gossip account with the caption, "Is this our QB1? Eyes." I found out Monday morning when my phone exploded with notifications, messages from people I barely knew, comments on posts I'd never seen, all of them asking the same question, "Are you dating Tyler Morrison?" I looked at the photo, You couldn't see our faces clearly, but you could see enough: Tyler's leather jacket, my distinctive hoodie, the way we were sitting that was unmistakably couple-like. I texted Tyler immediately. "Alex, we have a problem." By the time I got to school, everyone was talking about it. The photo was everywhere. The comments were getting worse. I found Tyler at his locker, surrounded by his teammates. He saw me, and his expression went carefully blank. "Morrison," one of the guys said, "you see this post going around?" "Yeah, it's fake, obviously." "Obviously, looks pretty real to me." "It's photoshopped, someone trying to start drama." Tyler's voice was steady, convincing. "You really think I'm gay? Come on." They laughed, moved on. Tyler looked at me for just a second, a flash of something that might have been apology, and then he turned away. I spent the rest of the day being stared at, being whispered about. In the bathroom, I heard someone say, "Chen's the one who's gay, not Tyler. Morrison's just too nice to tell him to fuck off." In seventh period, I was called to the principal's office. Principal Hughes sat behind her desk, looking uncomfortable. "Alex, I need to ask you about this photo that's circulating." "It's nothing, someone making up drama." "Is that Tyler Morrison in the photo with you?" I don't know, it's not clear." "Alex, if there's something inappropriate happening between you and a student athlete, I need to know. There are policies, rules about conduct." "Nothing's happening. I barely know Tyler Morrison. This is just people making things up." She didn't look convinced, but she let me go. I texted Tyler, "We need to talk." He responded an hour later, "Can't, practice, later." Later turned into that night. He showed up at my house at 9 p.m. looking wrecked. "I'm sorry," he said as soon as I opened the door. "I'm so sorry, I had to deny it. If I didn't, they would have." "Come in." We went up to my room. My parents were asleep, and sat on my bed, and he told me what had happened. The coaches pulled me aside, said there were rumors, said I needed to address them or it would affect my scholarship. So I told them, "You were just someone from the paper doing an interview, that we're not friends, that the photo was taken out of context." "You threw me under the bus." "I didn't, I tried to keep you out of it. I said it wasn't you in the photo." "Everyone knows it's me, Tyler. My face isn't clear, but my hoodie is. Everyone knows." "I'm sorry, I didn't know what else to do, if I admitted it." "You lose everything, I know, you've made that very clear." I stood up. "But what about me? What do I lose?" "Alex, you get to go back to being the golden boy, the football captain with the girlfriend and the scholarship and the perfect future. And I get to be the gay kid who tried to seduce you, or whatever story they're telling." "That's not fair." "None of this is fair." My voice came out louder than I meant it to. "I knew from the beginning this couldn't work. I knew you'd choose them over me. I just didn't think it would feel like this when you did." "I'm not choosing them over you." "Yes, you are. You already did." Tyler looked at me, and I saw how young he was, how scared, how completely unprepared for any of this. "What do you want me to do?" he asked. "Tell me what you want and I'll do it." "I want you to tell the truth. I want you to tell everyone we're together. I want you to choose me." "I can't." "I know, that's the problem." He left. I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling and tried not to cry. The next few weeks were hell. Tyler went into full damage control. He was photographed everywhere with Jessica, at games, at parties, at school events. He posted on social media about her. He made it very clear to everyone that he was absolutely, definitely straight. And it worked. The rumors died down. People stopped talking about the photo. Tyler Morrison was safe. I was not safe. I became the gay kid who tried to get with the football captain. People I'd never spoken to had opinions about me. Someone spray-painted something homophobic on my locker. I got threatening messages online. The administration did nothing. "Boys will be boys," the vice principal said when I reported it. "Just ignore them and it'll blow over." Tyler didn't text me, didn't talk to me, acted like I didn't exist. I was sitting in the library one afternoon in February when someone sat down across from me. Not Tyler, his teammate Marcus. Marcus was defensive end, built like a wall, and had never spoken to me before in his life. "Chen," he said, "we need to talk." "About what?" "About Tyler, about what's going on with him." "I don't know what you're talking about." "Cut the crap, I know about you too, I've known for months." My heart stopped. "What?" "I saw you guys, last October. I went to Tyler's house to drop off some playbook stuff, and I looked through the window and saw you, together. And I've been keeping my mouth shut, but I can't anymore because Tyler's not okay." "What do you mean?" "He's miserable, he's not eating, he's not sleeping, he's playing like shit. And I know it's because of you." Marcus leaned forward. "Look, I don't care who Tyler dates, but I care about my quarterback. And right now my quarterback is falling apart because he's too scared to be who he actually is. So you need to talk to him, fix this, whatever this is." "I can't fix it, he made his choice." "Did he or did everyone else make it for him and he just went along with it because that's what Tyler does?" Marcus stood up. "Just think about it, he needs you, even if he's too stupid to say it." That night I texted Tyler for the first time in 3 weeks. "Alex, Marcus came to see me, he knows about us." "Tyler, I know, he confronted me yesterday, I told him the truth." "Alex and?" "Tyler, and he's cool with it. Said he doesn't care as long as I get my head in the game." "Alex, good, I'm glad you have someone who knows." "Tyler, Alex, I miss you." "Alex, I miss you too." "Tyler, can we talk, in person?" "Alex, I don't think that's a good idea." "Tyler, please, I need to see you." We met at our spot, the back road outside of town where we used to park and talk. Tyler's truck was already there when I arrived. I got in the passenger seat and we sat in silence for a long time. "I'm sorry," Tyler said finally, "for all of it, for denying us, for choosing the easy path, for not being brave enough." "Tyler." "Let me finish. I've spent the last 3 weeks thinking about what you said, about choosing, and you were right, I chose them. I chose the scholarship and the team and my parents' approval, and I lost you, and it wasn't worth it." He turned to face me. "Nothing's worth losing you." "So what are you saying?" "I'm saying I'm done hiding. I'm done pretending. I'm done being who everyone wants me to be instead of who I actually am." "What does that mean?" "It means I'm going to tell them, all of them, my parents, the team, the school, and I know I'll lose the scholarship. I know my dad will probably disown me. I know the team will fall apart. But I can't keep doing this. I can't keep being miserable and pretending I'm fine." "Tyler, you can't throw away your future for me." "I'm not throwing it away. I'm choosing a different future, one where I'm actually happy, one where I get to be with you." He took my hand. "If you'll still have me, after everything." I should have made him wait, made him prove he meant it, protected myself from more hurt. But I was 17 and in love, and he was looking at me like I was the only thing that mattered. "Yes," I said, "I'll still have you." We kissed in his truck on that back road, and it felt like coming home. Tyler came out 2 days later. He didn't make a big announcement, he just started living honestly. He broke up with Jessica, publicly in the cafeteria where everyone could see. He told her the truth about why. She took it better than expected, said she'd known something was off. He talked to his coaches, told them he was gay and dating me, and he understood if they needed to pull his scholarship recommendation. He told his teammates. Marcus backed him up. Some of the guys were cool, some weren't. 2 guys quit the team, the rest stayed. He told his parents that one went as badly as he'd expected. His dad yelled, his mom cried. They said he was throwing away his future, that he was confused, that this was a phase. "It's not a phase," Tyler said. "This is who I am, and I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted, but I can't keep pretending to be someone else." His dad told him to leave. Tyler moved in with Marcus's family. They had a spare bedroom, and Marcus's mom said Tyler was always welcome. And then Tyler walked into school the Monday after coming out and took my hand in the hallway. Just like that, no dramatic speech, no announcement, just held my hand. The hallway went quiet, everyone stared. Tyler looked at me and smiled. Ready. Ready for what? To be us, publicly. We walked through that hallway holding hands while everyone watched and whispered and pointed. Some people looked disgusted, some looked confused, but some people smiled, some people nodded in approval. It wasn't easy after that. It wasn't a fairy tale where everyone immediately accepted us. People said things, terrible things. Tyler's dad didn't speak to him for months. Some of his teammates never forgave him for choosing to be gay over the team. The college scholarship offers dried up, not officially because of the gay thing, but unofficially everyone knew. But Tyler also got offers from other schools, smaller schools, Division II instead of Division I places that didn't care who he dated as long as he could throw a football. He got a scholarship to a state school 3 hours away. It wasn't the prestigious Division I offer he'd had before, but it was something, and I got accepted to the same school. We'd be together, officially, publicly, for real. We went to prom together. Not just as dates, as each other's dates, out loud on purpose. Tyler wore a tux, I wore a tux. We matched our boutonnieres. We posed for photos together while our classmates looked on with mixed reactions. This is insane, I whispered as we walked into the venue. 6 months ago you were hiding, now we're at prom. Best decision I ever made, Tyler said. We danced together while the DJ played terrible pop songs, and some people stared, and some people cheered. And honestly, I stopped caring what anyone thought because I was dancing with Tyler Morrison at prom and he'd chosen me. During a slow song, he pulled me close and said, "I love you." It was the first time either of us had said it. "I love you too," I said. At the end of the night, we were voted prom king and king. Not a joke, not ironic, actually voted. When they called our names, Tyler looked at me and said, "Want to go up there?" "Are you kidding?" "Yes." We walked up to the stage together and accepted our crowns, and everybody cheered. Maybe not everybody, but enough people that it felt like victory. That night, Tyler's mom called him for the first time since he'd come out. "I saw the photos from prom," she said. "You looked happy." "I am happy, Mom. Your father and we need more time, but we love you, we're trying. That's all I can ask for." His dad didn't call, but 6 months later, at graduation, he showed up. He sat in the back. He didn't congratulate Tyler afterward, but he came. He watched his son graduate and accept his acceptance letter to college and walk across the stage as the boyfriend of another boy. It was something, it was a start. College was different. Tyler and I got a small apartment near campus. We were out from day one, no hiding, no pretending. Tyler played football and was open about being gay. I studied journalism and worked on the school paper. Some of Tyler's teammates were assholes about it, but most didn't care. The coach cared about winning, not who his players dated. Tyler's game suffered at first. The pressure of being openly gay in college football was intense, but Marcus transferred to the same school and had Tyler's back. Other players stepped up. Tyler learned to play with the weight of representation on his shoulders. By junior year, Tyler was starting quarterback again. He led the team to their first championship in a decade. He got drafted to the NFL, not a first-round pick like he would have been if he'd kept hiding, but drafted. He became one of the first openly gay players in professional football. It wasn't easy. The media attention was intense. Some fans were cruel. Some teams didn't want to sign him. But some teams did. Some fans cheered. Some kids, gay kids who'd never seen themselves represented in sports, wrote him letters saying he'd given them hope. I became a sports journalist, covered football, covered Tyler's career and the careers of other LGBTQ+ athletes, wrote articles about representation and visibility, and what it meant to be yourself in spaces that weren't designed for you. We got married 5 years after college. Tyler's mom was there, his dad wasn't. Marcus was best man. 10 years after high school, Tyler's dad called. "I was wrong," he said. "About everything, I'm sorry." Tyler cried. We visited Texas that Christmas. His dad shook my hand and called me his son-in-law, and it wasn't perfect, but it was healing. 15 years after that photo was posted to the school's gossip account, Tyler and I sat in our house looking at old photos from high school. "Remember when you thought we'd never make it?" Tyler said. "I remember you thought you'd lose everything if you chose me." I did lose some things: the division I scholarship, my relationship with my dad for a while, the respect of some people who mattered to me. Regrets? None, because I gained you and everything we built together and the chance to be who I actually am. He pulled me closer. Best trade I ever made. We'd built a good life. Tyler had a successful football career and was transitioning into coaching. I had a career writing about sports and LGBTQ+ issues. We had a house and a dog and a community of people who loved us. We also had each other, still, after everything. Sometimes kids reached out to us, teenagers who were struggling, who were scared, who didn't know if they could be themselves in small towns or sports teams or conservative families. We told them what we'd learned, that it's hard, that you'll lose people, that it's not fair and it won't always work out the way you hope. But also that it's worth it, that being yourself, really, truly yourself, is worth the cost. That love is worth fighting for. That choosing the person you love over the life you're supposed to want is the bravest thing you can do. Tyler Morrison chose me, against every rule, every expectation, every pressure. And I chose him back. And we built something real from that choice. Something that lasted.